This is Past the Rock.
And we're back with the fourth quarter. All right, that was a bad, whatever voice that was. Yeah, fourth.
Oh, we're back with the fourth quarter.
Oh,
And we're back with the fourth quarter.
If this is true or not, does a college football game do this only, or is this a real life? If a mascot only has so many digits,
Right.
does it just because like the Baylor Bear just does a 3 when it's the fourth quarter?
It just does all the fingers it has.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the
Does
game,
that happen
in
real life? In the game, it does that factually. I noticed this recently.
I don't know if
But
Scrappy does
in real
that.
life, does
Scrappy
the
even have
Baylor
4 fingers?
mascot does it have 4 fingers, or is this shitty video game development, which is always a possibility?
it looks like it has at least 4 fingers. Yeah.
Okay, so then I thought that was amazing, and
Uh,
it's mostly on topic ish.
Well, you know we're starting off with the NFL.
if there
I
was
think.
someone to
Don't
cut
buy
corners,
Madness.
it would probably be on the Baylor mascot.
Yeah. It looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
a
nails. Doesn't have a
Yeah.
thumb.
Yeah.
If it did, it'd be a more dangerous animal than it already is, I think. Anyway, let's talk about some football. Before we get into the college stuff, we're going to talk about the NFL, which is quickly approaching the end of the preseason and the start of the regular season. So we do have some news to talk about. In hilarious fashion, the Cleveland Browns will be starting Joe Flacco in week 1 to the surprise of nobody, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's a surprise of nobody, but it is still very funny that the week 1 opponent that Joe Flacco faced in 2008, the Cincinnati Bengals, he will face again in week 1 in 2025. So 17 years later, and this guy is still out here slinging the rock around.
You got to respect the fuck out of Joe Flacco's career, and he'll probably end up on some all-time lists that are kind of fun down the road. Now, it does feel like, regardless of if it's health or play, this probably is a 6 to 7 game experiment, right?
Oh, for sure. So right now, I think what will be the most interesting thing is who they announce as QB3, because Kenny Pickett has QB2 locked down. So my assumption is, because this is definitely not a team built to win, you're going to start Flacco first. You're going to see how long that goes. I mean, if he can keep you above water, then maybe you just see if you can recapture that magic from, 2 years ago? And if not, then you move off to Pickett, even though you know exactly what that's going to look like. And then after that, once you've given up on Pickett, do you go with Shador? Do you go with Dylan Gabriel? I don't fucking know.
And they're rostering 4.
They might be roster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to roster
They don't.
4.
I mean, they don't want to cut Shador.
The
I
NFL
mean, that would
should
be the
force
one.
them to roster all 6 of them.
Who's the other?
They get a weird waiver
Deshaun.
application with Deshaun because he's
No,
not
he should
playing.
have to be rostered. His money's
Well, no, with that
guaranteed.
you're saying 6 of them. I'm like, who's the 5th quarterback? Because I mentioned
Huntley?
4.
They have
Oh, I
Huntley.
forgot about Huntley. That's right. Yeah,
Well,
Huntley's the odd man
Huntley's a
out.
cut. Yeah, he's a cut no matter
No.
what.
No, they added him. They got to roster him.
But
They
you
have to
don't
be
think,
punished for Deshaun Watson.
I don't think either
Well, you're sure-
Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett, or not Kenny Pickett, Shador has any chance of being cut. So it means they're rostering 4.
Yeah, they're gonna have to roster 4. I get what
Or
Patrick's
trade-
saying though.
Or
For
trade
punishing them.
one of the kids
Yeah,
in a
I'm
really
just doing
weird
bids.
move.
It would be
mean,
weird. I would
is
say
Is there value? Like, I mean, I guess they both look.
there's no
fine.
value in Dylan Gabriel. That I think they
He
are
looked
alone. on
fine.
that.
I mean, he looked passable. As much as you can for preseason.
Yeah, when you
Like,
put
it
him out
doesn't
in
look
regular
that
season,
bad, but it doesn't also feel like there's any trade value boosts. So
There
it's
isn't.
like I don't know what. It was always weird when they did it, and it was so very Cleveland Browns of them. So I appreciate them
so
for
very.
sticking to the script, but at the same time, I'm stunned by. It's actually honestly not the worst QB room situation. It's just the Kenny Pickett of it is kind of funny to me.
I don't
Because
know.
Kenny Pickett just feels like they know they're going to need to turn the keys to Kenny Pickett over, And if they thought that any better of him, then Flacco wouldn't even be in the situation.
Yeah, and they did trade for Pickett of all things. Now that I think about it, this is probably the second. Yeah, second worst behind the Saints.
Oh, I was gonna say the Colts, but you're right.
The Colts-
Oh shit!
Maybe the Browns are third.
It's a top three. It's a bottom three.
The Colts have raw talent.
Do they?
I said raw talent.
They have the raw
So
talent.
you don't think that
Richardson.
Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson aren't raw?
Oh no,
talent?
Take Daniel Jones out of that. He's
The kid
been
runs
in the league
fast.
too long.
I guess
He's been in the league way too long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not like moldable, but like as far as athlete, like a raw athlete, is that a better way to put it?
Yeah, I guess so.
They're both really talented athletes. They both can throw ball hard, far, and run fast, and are big and strong. There's some other stuff that you need to be a quarterback, but they've got the other things.
The between the ears actually is apparently pretty important,
Very important
to some degree.
Yeah. And speaking of which, that transitions us perfectly into the Indianapolis Colts, who have named Daniel Jones their starting QB. They have given up, at least for the foreseeable future, on Anthony Richardson. Now, they may say, hey, we want to sit him down and have him learn. And I would be pushing back on that. I'm like, hey, man, listen, I get it. You want him to learn and learn to be a pro because, last year, he did the whole helmet thing and let me get out of the game. Doesn't have a lot of college experience. Has only played, I believe, 17 NFL games in total, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 16. Patrick, you can correct me on that if you can find that.
Sorry?
Anthony Richardson. I think he played 5 games his rookie year and 11 last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Jonathan Taylor's still all a part of this Colts team, right? Like that's
yeah, but I mean, he's not the same Jonathan Taylor he was when he,
Well, that's fine, but he's not that much older. And what receivers do they have over there now?
That's a great question.
Those things matter. Like, do they have any weapons? That's because I think
their weapons are fine.
Coming into a bounce back situation here because I think he's a mostly competent player, but
Who?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Anthony Richardson.
The baseline of Daniel Jones is just very competent. It feels like you can get some use out of this guy.
He feels like a quarterback that you would put in the middle to last tier starters.
Yeah.
At best.
And as far as what he's working with, or what
he's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, so you still have Jonathan Taylor. You have, I believe, their you have Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., and I mean those are your 2 starting wide receivers. You have Adonai Mitchell out of Texas.
All right.
I don't know if he's doing well over there or not.
I don't think he played last year or something, or maybe not a lot. But either way, yeah, it's tough, man. They gotta also get weapons there. You can't just make the quarterback fault. And their
tight end situation is not great either.
Quarterbacks, like there was the tweet I shared with you guys. I don't know if you guys have it quicker or not. With the list of all of them, where it's under the same general manager, you've had just transition after transition after transition.
Yes, I've seen the starting quarterbacks that they've had since 2017, I believe, 17.
Yeah, starts with Scott Tolzien.
It's been. And this is a referendum on
quarterbacks
him,
coach of Dallas, or was the quarterbacks coach of the Cowboys last year? No, Scott Tolzien. I mean, I guess he probably isn't anymore. But
yeah, and listen, this is a I guess a referendum on Chris Ballard. He's been awful, and he has been, I guess, the beneficiary of just being like Jim Irsay's guy. But now that Jim Irsay, no longer around, there's not much saving this guy because his history of drafting is not
being a part of opening night for them.
But now that he's gone, there's nothing saving this guy because his draft history's been bad. He hasn't been able to commit to a plan. You can only make the excuse of, oh man, Andrew Luck retired on us all of a sudden for so long, right? It's been 7 years. You're going to have to get over it and have a plan. It didn't seem like they actually had a plan for Anthony Richardson. Doesn't seem like they have a plan for Anthony Richardson when they drafted him. And then now it doesn't look like they have a plan at all going forward other than maybe Team Tank. Which leads me to the next talking point that I had on here is what's next for Anthony Richardson. And I'm going to throw out the possibility that I think a lot of people have been throwing out online, at least. I haven't seen this from like national pundits a lot, but listen, there is a quarterback.
Yeah, throw him in that mix.
Yeah, there's a quarterback out there who's barely able to stand upright nowadays in Los Angeles. Matthew Stafford,
Yeah, I've
strong
seen this.
arm guy. Listen, Sean McVay, he's never really had a young quarterback to mold with the
No, that
tools,
makes a
the
lot
raw
of sense.
tools of Anthony Richardson, right? He had Jared Goff, right? But Jared Goff was just, he did a lot of good things in college, but he didn't do anything particularly well, but good enough to be, first overall, obviously.
Well, this season kind of feels like the Jared Goff story in a nutshell.
Yeah, and listen, you sit him down, you let him learn the system. You're gonna have to dial things back a bit in terms of what you want, what things you allow him to do in regards to the playbook, right? Because Matthew Stafford's like whatever. Stafford,
Also,
you do
need
whatever.
you need to have some condolences here. Matthew Stafford is not with us anymore.
Allegedly, he is dead, and this is a clone that we're seeing.
What?
See, Patrick, you're
I
not
just
online
wanted
enough.
I wanted to make sure to catch. I like to
just
catch you off
everybody
guard.
now?
Huh? Yeah,
Has
there's
everybody
been
been replaced by clones now?
no. There has been a long.
Am I the only person who hasn't been killed and replaced with a clone?
No, you were the first.
Ooh.
No, the thing with Stafford, I think, probably started with Rams fans online and has slowly grown into just general sports jokes that Matthew Stafford is dead, and that they're trying to hide it like the Beatles did with Paul McCartney. Basically, the same conspiracy there.
The Avril Lavigne thing, yeah.
Yeah, so this has been fun. Obviously, he's like shown up to camp now or played. Maybe that was what it was, is that they gave the old man more time off, so then the fans just had fun with it. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening with Matt Stafford, but I think Richardson being there is a great opportunity for them. And it's another funny thing about Los Angeles franchises is the best thing about being a Los Angeles franchise will always be
It
that
will
your
always be an
garbage
attractive
pile is
location. Yeah.
your garbage pile is significantly better than everyone else's garbage pile.
I did.
Consistent.
You
I did
fail
remove-
upwards in LA, man.
I finally removed him from my fantasy keeper team, Anthony Richardson. I
Rip.
held out hope through last year that it might turn around, but
So
And-
can I pose one fun alternate reality here?
Is he
My
going to
theory-
be the Dallas Cowboys future quarterback?
Yes, but here's what I think would be the funny part. This is following the plot line that the Cowboys realize that the goose is cooked right now and that they're bluffing and that this is a tank season, sneaky tank season, okay? And if it's a sneaky tank season, then Dak gets pissed off and and then they got to break up with Dak. And then it starts the fucking revolution of who's the next guy. And I think Anthony Richardson could be the first next guy. How many? Who knows?
My
But
favorite.
I could see this being a part of the
I don't
Cowboys
think
explosion.
Jerry's-
My
you don't
favorite
think
part about
Jerry's
that-
pivoting to Arch.
No, I'm sure he would be both, but I think Arch is probably not going to be. I don't know that Arch is one and done, but we'll get to that topic eventually.
Yeah. And let
Depends on
me
who's
let me
picking
slow
news
down
on
that.
that. There is news
What?
on Arch's decision actually on that recently.
Yeah.
Let me slow down the whole that idea
You
because
guys
of
don't
one
think
thing.
the Cowboys are close to going back to early 2000s Cowboys right now?
No, not that. It's the part where you're like they
Tough.
trade for Anthony Richardson
It feels. I
When-
don't know. It feels
when
like
they
it might be
have their
closer than
own
I want it to
version
be.
of Anthony Richardson on the roster right now.
Oh no, it's already
Yeah, but he can't
no. You
run.
haven't been following it, have you?
Joe
Oh,
Milton,
Joe
no,
Milton's
I've seen it's
Oh,
bad.
Joe
I know it's
Milton's
bad.
Been bad,
I know he's been awful.
like, bro. He's been really bad. Like,
He's
Like-
just sandbagging. He's just sandbagging for the cameras for the story when he actually takes the starting job in week
Bro.
1.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't honestly have an answer for what has been the Trey Lance games last season and this. So Trey Lance was funny because it looked good, but it just the ball would the thing would look good, and then you would follow the ball, and it would be nowhere fucking close, so consistently. And then this guy, it doesn't even look like he's ever been on a football field. He's like just constantly. He had the most nonchalant safety I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro looked
Dan
offended that they
Orlovsky.
tackled him. No, that one was goofed. He actually, I've never, like, you know how they say you need pocket composure? He might have too much because he was comfortable as hell sitting in the
just getting
pocket in
smacked.
the world, getting his fucking shit wrong.
I wonder if they just told him, like, your challenge is to just never get out of that pocket.
Bro, and maybe the
He
team
got his achievement. He got his little PlayStation trophy for not getting out of the pocket.
like I said, maybe the team's depth sucks, and this is an early sign of that, and it's not all his fault. But, whoo, man, I'm not gonna lie. The answer is definitely not feeling like that young man right now.
Maybe not, but you know, he checks a lot of the same boxes Anthony Richardson does. At least when you look at what they bring in a vacuum, right? You're like strong arm, mobility, size.
I think if they go radical, though, that's because they would have to justify moving on from Prescott. And honestly, they may swap Prescott for him realistically to the team that would need a quarterback.
That would be such a Chris Ballard
NFL
move.
blitz style offense of all verts.
No, that's the
Culpepper to Moss. Just throw it.
Used to get Favre and Manning and run your receiver with the go route. And if it's one of the top receivers, then it's over. You don't even have to do it that much.
Well, there you go. You have CeeDee Lamb. Just throw him fucking go ball.
No,
Pickens in that case.
I'm growing more fascinated by the
guy.
Cowboys, but that wasn't the point of this question. I do seriously think that would be a funny alternative reality that I'm telling you guys feels more realistic than it doesn't, that I wish it did.
So, I mean, that is a funny possibility. Another, and this one's not as funny possibility for what the Colts do with Anthony Richardson. I'd say, all right, we have the Rams. That's one. Cowboys for a funny one.
And he would have to
survive
the year here in the with like to get to the Cowboys, right? Like that's the hard part too, logistically with that. Because he has to like go through a whole season with Indianapolis, which doesn't even feel like that realistic at this point.
And then, I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. And here's the other one that I had down: the Saints. The Saints don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
why not? You know, take the no identity offense and give the guy who has no clear idea of what he's doing at quarterback. Yeah.
But that's why they're so good right now. See, you're sleeping on the no identity. They have no quarterback, and that means they have no identity.
We all know what identity they're trying to grab. They're like, we will keep losing until Arch Manning declares.
We don't care how much his senile grandfather goes on TV and talks.
That guy played for us, damn it, and we're gonna have. It's just
so funny because I don't even know why we're having the conversation. Like, of course, Arch Manning is going to stay at the University of Texas if he knows a team he doesn't want to go to is going to have the first pick. Like, are we stupid? Of course he is.
There's also the factor of if he wins a Heisman and a national title, why would you go back to school at that point?
It doesn't even mathematically make sense. He makes so much at Texas, and if he lives up to the hype,
any of that money, but
if he lives up to the hype, the junior season would be just as profitable. Obviously, he's never going to do a senior season. So that's, hopefully, right? I mean, if it goes worse, obviously, who knows?
I don't know if he wins 2 in a row, maybe.
But it's not about
go back for thirds. It's
not about the Heisman or whatever. I think for him as a basketball professional or a football professional, it's in the gimmick. As a football professional, he has to understand, and he does because he's a fucking Manning, that he is the most profitable college football player right now. And he will only he will set records with this if he lives up to the hype.
I have to believe he's like
power.
I have to believe he's that third generation where it's like he actually just loves football.
Okay, but even if you do, are you going to sign up?
I have to believe that. Don't worry about what the reality is.
But I'm just saying, I don't think there's any logic that says that Arch Manning just 100% goes into the draft regardless of team.
No,
because it's too. No one. You could argue that no athlete, if he lives, again, big asterisk here, if he lives up to this hype, right? And Texas doesn't need to necessarily win the championship. If he lives up to the hype himself, and decides to declare and is the clear number one pick, right? If that's the reality, then no number one pick in NFL history is ever going to have had this except Uncle Eli. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but even this is more powerful because, I mean, well, I don't know. Uncle Eli was pretty, like, that was pretty much just handle business for daddy.
Yeah, again, and he's in a unique situation where it's like he can do whatever he wants. So maybe he just loves football and just wants to keep winning in Texas for a bit.
No, I mean, and maybe there's a senior season there because maybe he doesn't care as much about having a 15, 20-year NFL career. He just wants to do 10 years.
Wants to three-peat.
Move on. Like, if anything, I think the Andrew Luck model of athlete, which I don't know that we've seen a lot of. Nikola Jokic is on the watch right now. Of work-life balance, you know what I mean? Of being really great at sports, but also being
because usually football early retirements are like, you know what, I can still walk. So
you're right. No, I mean the Cowboys released some bullshit about the offensive line, the Wall 2.0 for this season. I watched a little bit of propaganda, and Tyron basically said that it was like, "Oh, Zach's out, I'm out too now." That's simple. I want to be able to walk later. And so it's just one of those things where for football players, they absolutely do. Basketball players, it's sneaky because the basketball players you don't think have this issue, but a lot more basketball players that are older do actually have a lot of issues walking around and move with mobility because they
already can't walk.
Right. Well, not only are you grinding your legs to dust, and a lot of them did it pre-knowledge of how to recover from that and help it and stuff. Right, basically, right? And there's also just the reality of being a tall motherfucker and all of that,
Gravity.
So it's just one of those things where athletes should care about that. But they know, a lot of them, the glitz and the glory is also a big part of sport.
Yep.
But either way, Arch hopefully is a long way away from ever considering that decision.
And we're still ways away because I don't think, even if he has a great season this season, he's going to go into the draft. I think he's going to be at least another year. He's going to want another year under his belt.
And I still think teams should tank for Arch. Maybe not Arch in particular, but at least the theory of it. I still don't mind tanking in general. So I'm not really going to.
I would say in the NFL, there's probably 4 teams every year that like legitimately have a roster that can tank.
Yeah, and I also think
outside of injuries.
I think some of that is self-induced bad, and that NFL you at least can turn the bad to good. I don't know that other leagues you can well.
You can't.
Basketball, I get it. Basketball, you're literally just hoping for a demigod. You're hoping for
in Charlotte.
Better. Yeah, and you're basically just like praying for a couple demigods now because you need a couple of them now.
Yeah,
Although you kind of are that way in football with quarterbacks.
The quarterback is a big part of it, but there are teams that I think have gotten better. Like I think Philadelphia might even be why Dylan Gabriel got drafted the way he did, because I think people see that the Eagles did well by developing Jalen Hurts and investing elsewhere, and maybe they want to try that too. So
they forget to take into account that Jalen Hurts is sick in the head. So unless Dylan Gabriel is also
you do have to find obviously the intangible parts. It can't just be undersized quarterback that works hard.
Well, yeah, he's also got to be able to squat 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to underscore who Jalen Hurts is. It's just saying that, like, when Jalen Hurts was drafted, it was laughed at, or it was someone was like, oh, okay, interesting, but moved on. It wasn't necessarily, it was Carson.
And not to mention the part where Carson Wentz had just signed a brand new contract extension.
Yeah.
That same offseason.
I just think that it's, as the coaches say, it's a copycat league. So, like Caesar's hat says, the rest of the world is going to, the rest of the football world, even if they shouldn't, even if you aren't going to be able to replicate what the Eagles did, there's still, 100% that a bunch of them are trying it.
They're going to try it, and some will succeed, some will fail. But yeah, anyway, continuing on though with the last bit of this QB talk. Before we go transition fully into college, I was going to name 2 more teams just as a possibility for Anthony Richardson. This one I don't believe in as much, but it would be interesting, right? What if you sent him to Pittsburgh to learn behind fucking Aaron Rodgers of all.
I mean, if you're Pittsburgh, I definitely don't think that it's a bad investment because I don't know you have to give up a lot.
I don't know
you
if
wouldn't have to give up a
Tomlin
lot,
wants that
and
project.
Yeah,
Well-
the Tomlin. Yeah, it does feel like Tomlin's cool with doing the Band-Aid vet guy.
my thing is, listen, if you're cool with the shit show that Aaron Rodgers brings, and knowing that he is a shell of his former self, why not gamble on the possibility of a young quarterback who, sure, does he put your 9-8 or never having a losing record streak in jeopardy? Absolutely. But if you're able to harness everything that he's capable of doing, that we've seen the highs of Anthony Richardson, if you can actually get him to be consistently at that level, then man, you'll finally have a chance at maybe being an actual competitor in the AFC, which you haven't been if you're the Steelers for a very long time. And then my other sneaky team, that I think they should consider this, mostly because the current entrenched starter isn't there for a very long time, or isn't contractually obligated to be there for a very long time. It's the Vegas Raiders. Have them learn. Listen, you have Geno Smith. Have him learn behind somebody who's also been spurned by his previous team. Benched him, rightfully so. But hey, you're gonna learn behind a guy who developed a chip on his shoulder, came into his own way later in his career than he probably should have had to have waited. But he's making the most of it now. Anthony Richardson, you can follow a very similar career arc.
I like
Maybe
it in
a
theory.
little bit
I like
quicker.
it in Madden, but I
And
fear
here's the thing.
the politics.
And then you have probably the most player-friendly old guy in the league in Pete Carroll. Like, you would have a very nurturing environment for Anthony Richardson. You're still getting him on that rookie QB deal. I'm just saying, you're going to need to put butts in seats in Vegas somehow, one way or another, whenever the Geno experiment
that conversation with Geno, though.
I think Geno's enough of a vet and like professional to be like, yeah, that's fine. Let the young guy learn underneath me. I think at this point,
Geno's not thinking he's going to take his job.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
fair, but it's also it's when you immediately invest into kind of the same position twice. Naturally, the question occurs.
I'm sure Geno, to some extent, shouldn't be that caught off guard, simply because one, he is
Geno Smith,
and he's later 30s. He's in his mid 30s, and I don't think the whole it's Geno Smith is that bad. I mean, he's shown himself to be very good in Seattle the last 3 years.
He's not someone that everyone wants to trade for.
What about Miami?
That's true. I don't see it there, man. I think they're too invested.
You're going to try Quinn Ewers over him?
No, I
think they're just invested.
He can just be the crash test dummy for Tua. Like, you have to tackle Anthony. You can't tackle Tua. You have to tackle Anthony. He's the body.
Also, they just put two quarterbacks on the field and play hot potato.
And
only Tua can throw the ball. Only Tua can touch the ball. Anthony Richardson's just there to get tackled for him.
Okay, he just doesn't do anything. He just stands there and waits for the sack.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know what's the craziest thing, though, is you put those two guys next to each other and you're like, wow, one of you looks like a quarterback and the other one looks like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? And you're looking at Tua and you're like, a guy who throws ducks for a living versus Anthony Richardson, who only throws 100 miles an hour, no arch on that fucking ball. Just
him and Quinn will bond. Him and Quinn will bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll just be like, they'll play a game of least accurate deep ball.
Hey, now, come on now.
Yeah, but I think the one Anthony Richardson gets to go further.
This is very true.
It's not defending. I just don't think he needs the shots.
No, I'm still disappointed in the lack of Quinn Ewers' development over 3 seasons. It's embarrassing.
He's apparently not doing very well.
I'm planning on it. Trust me, Sark is definitely on. Trust me, if the shit doesn't go well for Texas, I know who I'm pointing at because the babysitter offense is in question.
I do actually have one thing to throw in here before we switch to college, because apparently 3 hours ago the Minnesota Vikings traded Harrison Phillips, defensive tackle, to the Jets for a couple picks. And he's kind of the main piece of our interior line on defense. So I guess one of the draft picks is looking good, and they thought, let's save some money on the cap.
Or, maybe.
Thinking Vikings.
No. Maybe.
Wait, who's the starting quarterback for the Vikings week 1?
It's JJ.
I'll see, like, the
He's good and
preseason. Has
healthy
he not
and-
even touched them?
Okay. I just didn't know if there was a little delay in that.
He's been playing, so unless he gets hurt again,
Oh, okay.
it's him.
Who's the backup?
That's honestly a really good question. Can't still be Sean Mannion. Give me a second. I was just looking at the
Ooh,
Steelers.
you can have fucking Shake Milton or whatever.
No. This will only take
bro.
just a couple more seconds.
You got receivers that like to run deep.
Oh, Sam Howell
Oh,
and
right.
Max Brosmer.
You could have a worse backup
And
quarterback than Sam
Brett
Howell.
Ripien, still
Oh.
fourth string.
Oh, my God.
For now.
I forgot
Oh.
Sam Howell existed. I don't think I've ever heard of Brosmer.
No.
Definitely not.
He played at Minnesota. He is 24.
Nice.
I honestly thought that Sam Howell was still in Seattle, but, whatever. I guess he got traded or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got, guys, for the pros. We're in our last week of preseason, so this has been a mild, pretty quiet preseason. No major star has received or has been injured in the preseason. They're probably still recovering from an injury from last season, but for the most part, I think a lot of teams are.
Yeah, most people haven't even played their guys yet, right? I think we're doing that all this week. The first time.
Some of them. But if you're like the Eagles, you're not playing any starters until week 1.
Yeah, which is always a hard decision. I don't know what the right answer is, but I definitely understand why you would.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Matt, it just depends on the guys. And the best coaches can figure out which guys need it and which guys don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you have sort of a different situation when you're Philadelphia in this regard, but I think for everyone else, it is a much harder question because it's almost like as a coach, and you kind of have to, like I feel like you're obligated a little bit with winning a Super Bowl and returning most of your team. You're like, all right, gotta let the guys rest more. I gotta give this one to them, even if it's ethically wrong and it causes a slow start. You're like, you kind of have to take the hit.
Well, again, I just mean it depends on the players. Some players are ready when they get to camp. Some aren't.
Well, yeah, and that's
You
probably
gotta
also a good
you gotta weed
indication
that
of how
out.
competent and professional your football team is, which is a good thing. But I mean, and sometimes it takes a couple weeks to iron out all your contract extensions and whatnot. That's normal for every team, right?
GM's doing blue carpet Netflix documentary reviews.
Yeah, it's about the same time as the 4th episode of your owner's Netflix documentary comes out.
Oh my God! And you know what? Seeing the way that the Eagles' schedule is lined up, I get why they're being even more reserved about playing their vets because they don't have a single consecutive home game all year long. Home game stand. It's home away, home away, home away, away away, home away. So it's
weird.
It is one of the weirdest schedules I've ever seen.
Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagles. If you look at it, they have 2 consecutive away game stands, but no consecutive home game stands.
So it's your extra game this year is away, I guess. The 17th game. Maybe not game 17, but the extra game.
This is the extra game.
Do you have y'all don't have any neutral games?
No. No, wait. Let me see. I don't believe they have one this year, but I could be mistaken on that. But even if they did have one, it still doesn't mean that they have 2 strict.
No, but it is slightly different than away. It's more like away and sort of away.
And then away for the other team as well, yeah.
Yeah, depending. If you go against the Jags in England, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. No, it doesn't look like it. Not that I can see from here.
All the times look normal. So
yeah, their schedule is really
they're
shit.
all 2-digit times on the 24-hour scale.
Wow. Yeah. Either way, but anyway, we'll talk about the schedule next time or a later time. But yeah. Now let's make time for some college football. So I'm gonna pass this center spot here to Bethke.
Well, I mean, it's here. Like, there is no more waiting to be done. We have football starting Saturday, I think is the first time we actually have football. I don't think there's anything tomorrow. But realistically, week 1 is both like a few games Saturday and Thursday and the next Saturday lumped into one thing. So we're kind of in week 1.
They call it week 0 most of the time.
But a lot of times if you're looking on any schedule, you're going to see this also just lumped in with week 1. Week 0 is perfectly fine by me too. The headlining game, which has been a theme of this, is it's not just an Ireland game, right? Like they've just been jumping around Europe playing college football, right?
I think it's been Ireland the last few years.
Okay, is this just the Dublin thing now?
I think so.
All right.
I
So
might be wrong.
we've got a hilarious couple of schools heading to Ireland.
No,
Wait,
it make total sense.
No, they're. I mean, literally, there's some heritage that people could be doing here. The boosters might be actually going and discovering their roots a little bit here. You get Iowa State versus Kansas State, so you
That's
get
such a funny matchup, man.
you get the battle of the Midwest here. Truly, the heart of the Midwest, with both Iowa and Kansas being represented. And this is Kansas State, not Kansas City. I know folks get confused, and unfortunately, that is a confusing thing. Although I think
Kansas City is in Kansas, but the part you're thinking of is in Missouri.
Yes, which is fun. Also, DC is not a state, but it's a anyway. So we're going to be more reactive than proactive. So I don't really know a lot about Iowa State or Kansas State, nor do I plan about learning anything unless I have time to watch this game. At which point I will learn something about these two teams. If not, I'll learn it on the recap. There's some other interesting games as far as like bigger conferences, but they're not like even the Power 5 conferences necessarily. There's a couple other big. I think Kansas is also playing on the same day. So yeah.
Okay, so they started playing in Ireland. They did it 3 years in a row from 88 to 91. Then there was a game in 96. Then they waited till 2012. There were 3 more in the next 5 years. And they started again in 2022. And now this will be the 4th straight year since then.
All right. I mean, I don't hate it. It's kind of fun. It's goofy.
Yeah, it's not.
This is how we found out Florida State was exploding.
They're scheduled through 2027 at least at this stadium.
Nice. Yeah, no, this is how we found out Florida State was exploding last year. It was great. I mean, Kansas State, Iowa State, we definitely think that these are the 2 boring teams that usually have something to say about the Big 12 championship. So it is useful. They're both ranked teams, so that's good. But yeah, that isn't the major story dominating college football headlines right now, guys. We need to talk about something that's just as old as the game itself. Claiming dumbass titles. Because Auburn has done the hilarious. And actually, I need you to search it because I don't remember how many they added. I think it was 5.
Yeah, the way you have this on our rundown is really funny.
Yeah, I jumped a little bit on accident.
Oh, yeah, I was just looking at the bottom, and I was like,
Auburn decided to declare like 5 titles. And basically what they've decided to do is just only recognize AP titles, to which they won the AP title the year USC technically won in 2004, which is what we remember. This also happened when Miami won in 83. And so now they're retroactively. It also happened the same in 93, and I don't remember who was actually the champion in 93. Florida State won. So they're trying to claim all of these titles retroactively. And here's the statement that cracked me up. For far too long, Auburn has taken a humble approach to our program's history.
7. They added 7.
They added 7. Yeah, one was from like 1905 or something.
1910, 1913, 1914, 1958, 1983, 1993, and 2004.
So the 2004 one is an interesting one. We always were live for that. The BCS is most damning case, I suppose.
Maybe. Maybe Auburn would have gotten blown out by both of those teams, so who knows?
It's true, but unfortunately, it ultimately is the most used. I think, as far as the playoff conversation went. But the quote did go on to say this aligns with the well-established standard used by the NCAA, and this is correct. You've made jokes before about Texas A&M and the way they've claimed titles. This is not an unfamiliar thing to college
They tried
football.
to claim a future title when they hired Jimbo.
That is very true.
Oh my God! Why don't people bring that up enough? God damn it! They did do that.
Never forget.
So, yes, that's exactly what I mean. And in fact, to laugh at this and to encapsulate the rivalry that is college football, I have a nugget for you guys. Because back in the Reagan days, the 80s, in a move that I believe the AD did, not Bear Bryant himself, Bama dug up 5 pre-Bear Bryant national champions and added it to their collection.
Oh God!
I didn't look into whether they did the whole AP shtick or if they had a different way to do it. If they're blending,
they picked whatever poll put them number one and said that counted.
They just picked anyone that had them won at any point.
The Alabama Times.
And again, and we also need to recognize this is a historical thing that continues to happen because, for what I don't necessarily know the reason, but there was not even a championship game for the longest time, let alone a playoff. It's
almost an impossible task before modern travel.
I guess that's probably the easiest way to explain a lot of it, but it's still
athlete factor in the early years.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's very fair, but it still was very delayed.
1960 aren't.
When is your first official national championship game? That's probably
BCS.
In the 60s.
No, BCS
was the first time we're actually playing a championship
1v2.
Game 1v2.
Yeah,
is BCS.
I think there were some years where 1v2 would play each other, but not intentionally.
Dude,
anyone who knows anything about college football is so mad right now.
Probably, dude. But y'all, come on. It's like, we get it. Rutgers, sick, bro. SEC, we get it. College football is, I love college football way more than I love pro football. But that's also likely because I have to deal with the Cowboys. But if it wasn't even because of that, it's also because I think football is a fun sport when it's chaotic and a boring sport when it's not, which is why the NFL puts out a lot of boring football games comparatively, because those guys know what they're doing. And in college football, those guys are a bunch of fuckboys who are now being paid. You know what I mean? Some of them are half drunk on the field. Like, this is what, I guess you could argue the same about the NFL, but it just feels more likely that there's more guys hung over as shit playing football on Saturdays and Sundays.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it depends on maybe which schools you're talking about.
In decade, I'm talking about modern athlete knows how to prolong their career. It means more moolah, so they take it more seriously. College athlete, young body, stupid mind. One thing has changed. A lot of things have changed about the world. One thing has not. 18 to 22 to 3-year-olds decision making.
Fair.
Oh yeah.
That's just true. So that's pretty much it, though. I'm excited to see college football back. We will actually have more to, I guess, pontificate on next week.
Texas v. Ohio
because there
State.
will actually be one.
That'll be quite a way to kick off a season.
Yeah, that's game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Ohio State doesn't necessarily have a quarterback answer right now, but
I don't even think they really had a great one before anyways. So.
Well, I mean, they had a hell of a run there for a second, but yes, it's been quite a drought since, I guess, Fields. So yeah, it does need to be fixed. It needs to be a little bit better. But that's still Ohio State, man. They are so goddamn loaded. Like, at every turn, that's an incredibly loaded.
When was the last
roster.
time we had a top 5 matchup week 1?
Probably Ohio. Oh, week 1, no. Week 1 is a weird one to do, but Now
It
there's
was
no
pre-scheduled.
pressure. Yeah, but it was pre-scheduled when we already knew, or people probably already theorized how much one loss early season
Doesn't matter.
was compared to what it used to, because people were chicken shit at this. Like, people were scared to do this, openly scared to do this for a decade.
No, I think
And
it's
it-
awesome. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
like for that reason. There's
Yeah.
obviously less stakes on it, but if if Texas wins that game, my God,
Jesus, how is Clemson ranked number
Right.
4?
Dabo.
Dabo's got
sucks.
a quarterback again, I believe.
Does he? Oh, I guess he does. Kate Klubernick?
Yeah,
I mean,
Klubnik
He's
is
kept
Klubnik?
Clemson pretty relevant for a bit now.
Klubnik's pretty good.
Yeah, but like relevant, and also he's a detriment. He's been a detriment to them as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think he struggled a bit with the transition, but I think that shit talks, money walks, and he's fallen in line for the most part. Because Clemson's also still not necessarily the money power, and I mean, you could still argue that Dabo's buying his time to see if his alma mater happens to come up. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know with oh boy. Oh, god damn it. All I can think of is Legend's voice, but now I can't. Oh, Coach DeBoer. That don't bother you, dude. Vandy is my daddy.
Oh,
Paul
God.
Feinbaum forever, man. SEC football's back. Oh my god, I just thought about that. I got to catch up on Paul Feinbaum. The season's starting. These SEC
excited
fans are getting crazy.
I'm excited for SEC shorts another year, and for Matt Mitchell's little spin-off thing he does now.
I'm glad. Yeah, this SEC shorts is usually one of the more consistently good bits.
They're really good, and now that Texas is in it, obviously I like it more. I have more of a reason to care about the jokes.
And they have more ammo, which is good for their content.
Well,
Very true.
boys, I think
Well.
that might wrap us up this week.
All right. All right. All
We
right.
might have to even lose on some of our fun bits because we're about to be so entrenched.
Well, there's going to be no baseball.
Oh, I know. Yeah, when I took the hat off at halftime,
And then
that
when
was
Fight
for the season.
Club's almost over, that gives us a whole another quarter to work with. So
That's true.
Anyways.
So maybe even more.
Oh, there's gonna be so much football content. You can't be. You're not gonna be able to stomach it.
Football is a lot. We do usually buff the fuck out of
That's the
football.
name of the game. Well, boys, unless you got anything else, I will see you next week.